let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Race number 8 at Aqueduct on Saturday is the Woodhaven Stakes, an open stake for 3-year-olds on the turf. Let's take a look at this field. We're hoping we stay on. We've had a lot of wet weather in New York the last few days. Hard Love, the number 1, is 4-5 on David Aragona's morning line as he makes his first start of the year. When you read Dave Grenning's advance of this race on DRF.com, however, trainer Jonathan Thomas says he's mostly using this race as a prep.
I'm sure they are using it as a prep, Dan. I would think that they have some pretty big races for this horse in mind. His 2 starts as a 2-year-old really make him stand out in this field.
And as we look at the Timeform US pace projector, he is tactical. He showed that sort of speed in both lifetime starts. And I think he's just going to let the 3 and the 5 go and maybe ride the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how fast the pace gets in this race. There's really no upside in projecting fast paces for these races in New York, especially on turf, because they're never fast. But maybe this one will be.
Hard Love won his career debut at a big price at Belmont and then ran in the Central Park Stakes in his first start against winners. We'll watch that race right now. Hard Love was tracking 3 wide on the backstretch. This leader, Never Surprised, gets away from him, but just watch Hard Love. He never stops trying in the stretch. This was a good second and a good figure, 87.
Yeah, he ran well in both of his starts last year. He can't get to Never Surprised, who's a good horse in his own right, but they just left the rest of this field in the dust. And, you know, one of the horses behind them, Scarlet Sky, has won 3 times since then, including a graded stakes at Keeneland since then. So it's not like there were a bunch of bums behind them. This horse ran really well last time.
If the Timeform US projection of a fast pace is correct, it could help the 2. It's a gamble. Personally, I think It's a Gamble's a closing sprinter. Both of his wins have come going short when coming from way off of the pace. We'll see if he wants a mile and a 16th.
Yeah, that's the real question. I do think he's talented enough to go with these horses. The question is, can he do it going longer? Because he hasn't shown that yet. Personally, I feel like when you take his distance races apart, you can kind of make excuses for him, Dan. I mean, all of them never really set up that great for him. And that includes the Kitten's Joy 2-back, which was a race that was supposed to have a ton of pace, and it had none.
That's a good point. In the Dania Beach 3-back, he never really got fully clear, I don't think, in the stretch and was running at the end as well. Extra Sexy Big Daddy tries turf for the first time. A little bit of turf pedigree here. He's run on synthetic, and I thought he ran fine last time out in the rush away. First start off of victory against 25,000 maiden claimers. He did some work on the lead before tiring late.
I mean, he did improve with the surface switch, so maybe that's enough of an indication that he'll handle the turf, Dan. We'll see. I kind of didn't want to look at him that way because, you know, it's not like Congrats is some kind of great turf sire. And as well, you know, as well as this dam ran, and she was a good horse, she was more of a synthetic horse. And her first foals, they're all winners, but they're not good turf horses.
I think Shorty's a sleeper in this spot. This horse did some good work for Jorge Abreu as a 2-year-old. You look at the Awad 2 starts back. I'm not sure he loved the yielding ground. It didn't help that he was 4 wide on the backstretch, 5, 6 wide turning for home, and he never stopped trying. And as we watch his seasonal debut at Tampa Bay, just a similar situation. Now, the horse has no early speed. That could work against him, but he's wide yet again in his first start off the bench, and he comes running at the end.
Yeah, he runs well in here. And the horse that wins this race is actually looks like he's pretty good too. So Shoddy did some good things in here. I agree with you, Dan. I mean, it's just the fact that he has no speed feels like it just really works against him because he can never get the trip that he wants. You're right. In his Awad, he actually ran pretty well in there with no chance. It's a Gamble, by the way, had a very similar trip that he did in that race. I didn't think either one of them had a fair chance. I think this horse is good. The question is, can he get the right trip?
That's the key. Will the 3 and 5 go? Because Original went to the front last time out in the Grade 3 Kitten's Joy, a race we're going to see right now for trainer John Terranova. Made the front, got beat by a useful horse. This horse that won came back to run 3rd in a couple of stakes races, the Palm Beach with an 82, the Sophomore Turf with a 73, and the winner, Chess's Dream, was able to slip up the rail on Original.
Yeah, came up the inside, and Original just never had enough to hold that horse off. It's a Gamble, the 2 there, who was trying to close from last and wasn't beaten very far. You know, I liked this horse quite a bit last time, Dan, getting over to turf. He was a big price. He got to the lead early on with no trouble at all. It felt like there was a lot of speed in that race, and nobody went And it almost felt like if Original was ever going to win, sort of a big or major kind of race, it was going to be right there because he had all the best of it. And he just wasn't good enough. I was very disappointed in his race last time.
But perhaps he'll take a step forward if the ground is wet. He did win his maiden at Aqueduct over yielding ground. Minuteman the sixth, like many Tom Albertrani trained second-time starters, improved from the debut experience, running third at 42-1 on the dirt. This horse's pedigree is all European distance and turf.
Right. He's supposed to be a lot better on the grass. So we'll see if he is. And they're going to switch him over here as a maiden. He actually ran fine last time as a big launch shot. Dynamic One came back and just missed in the Wood Memorial.
Sifting Sands got a beautiful trip to win at Tampa Bay. First off, a long layoff for Chad Brown. Let's watch this race right now. He was able to ride the pocket. The rail opens up. He shoots on through. To this horse's credit, however, he runs in the stretch.
He does. He did get a perfect trip in here, but he also really improved from his debut at Saratoga last summer, where he was just really green, never really did much running and went right back to the sidelines. He ran well in this race, took a big step forward. He's got a huge pedigree behind him. It just feels like the kind of horse who's going to keep getting better.
Top pick time for the Woodhaven Stakes. That Sifting Sands is very, very interesting. We both have him second. Just hard loves 2 races last year at 2. Just impressed both of us, and his tactical speed should have him in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes back. It feels like a very likely spot for him. If he's even close to ready off the layoff and he's improved at all from 2 to 3, he's supposed to be a handful in here.
Same triple in here, 174 for me and Mike. Mike goes with the 2 to round out the soup. I go with the 6. It's the Woodhaven Stakes race 8 at Aqueduct on Saturday. Best of luck.